In this episode, we talk about calves. Welcome to episode 22 of AskTheLJs. I'm Luke.
I'm Lawrence.
And I'm back from holiday.
Yeah, buddy.
I've got the old brick tan. Managed to get sunburn on the shoulders with a vest top. And I thought I was in the shade. So if you sun experts can give me the information that you can get sunburn even if you're in the shade, that would be appreciated, because I didn't think it was possible, to be fair.
Of course you can.
I didn't think it was. I think as well because the fly was almost like white predominantly, so it's probably white on my shoulders. I think I was only asleep for about 30 minutes.
That's what it takes.
So it takes.
I got sunburn in the back of my neck in Lichfield on Monday.
That's it.
When there was zero sun. It was completely overcast, but I was outside all day.
So not only do you get expert advice, I'm calling myself an expert, on training, nutrition, social media, business, you also get knowledge bombs in regards to sunburn. And you can get
We're
burnt.
clearly dermatologists.
Yeah.
So
We do it all.
do it all.
Shredded by sun. Or burn.
Sunny by science.
Sunburnt by science.
Oh no.
Two B's.
So-
Let's go, Lawrence.
Today we have a question from our good friend, SBS Academy student, Petya. Hello, Petya. So Petya is asking about calves. Now,
Get in there, Lawrence.
we answered some stuff on Facebook already, and
We
I'm
don't
going to
want to give you the answers.
try and hide that from you. But
In the next few episodes, we're going to dedicate them to our lovely SBS.
come
Academy
forward.
students.
Yeah. Keep going. It's like you're trying to get me reversing parallel parking.
Mind your backs, please.
Can you see that? Oh God. Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh God.
All good.
All good.
Just add
There
an
we
O.
go. Right.
What's an O between friends?
Absolutely.
Oh God. Yeah, it's God actually.
Right, so she's asked calves. My male clients got no calves and not sure if higher reps build them or low or heavy. Also ask them to do them at the end of every session no matter what they train on the day, so just smack them every single day with high frequency, high volume. So low reps, high reps, how much frequency?
Every
calves.
day, at the end of sessions, blah, blah, blah. First question what come to mind was, is Dan Mitchell being coached by her?
Because Dan Mitchell has
No calves.
no calves.
Yeah.
Absolutely no calves.
But I think I was first to answer on there.
You
weren't
were.
I? And then
you
was
got in there first.
Yeah.
I think we both got in there pretty much the same time.
Pretty similar answers as well.
Yeah. Funny that.
Yeah, funny that. Do you want to... So I got in there first on the academy. Do you want to get in first on
Go
the
on then.
AskTheLJs?
Go on then. Let's take one each. So, my answer to this was to adopt a daily undulating programming type of approach, which basically it's a type of non-linear periodization, so multiple rep schemes throughout the week. And you start the week with the lighter weights and the higher reps, and then throughout the week you undulate through and finish up the week with slightly lower reps and heavier weights. So for calves, given that the way you train calves is predominantly via isolation movements, if you're going to train calves, obviously they are going to get quite a decent amount of stimulation from squatting due to the plantar flexion demands during a squat. They're going to get some stimulation from that, but if you want to isolate them, you're going to be required to do some form of calf raise. So to that end, you're probably not going to want to be loading them super heavy. So the 6 to 15 range is probably about as heavy as you want to go. You may want to go a little bit lighter. You may want to have some super high rep stuff. If you're really sadistic and don't want to be walking for the next couple of days. But I prefer a higher frequency approach with multiple different rep ranges throughout the week, just to kind of cover all your bases. And again, progressive overload, like they're not special. They're not going to just suddenly not respond to progressive overload.
They're not type 4 fibres where no one's heard of them.
Yeah, exactly. You need to be making sure that you are overloading over time. And yeah, they're a small muscle and they're probably going to take longer to be able to add weight to the bar because you'll be shifting lighter weights, and with lighter weights or kind of lighter 1 rep maxes, every increment you add on is technically a larger percentage of your 1 rep max. So let's say that, like, if you take a bicep curl, for example, say that your 1 rep max bicep curl is like 20 kilos. For every 2.5 kilos you add to that, so like adding 1.25 kilo plate to either side of the easy curl bar, that's 10%. That's over more than 10% of your 1 rep max. So bear that in mind with isolation exercises and adding weight, but you need to still obey the kind of the principles of specificity, specific adaptations to impose demands, progressive overload, yada yada yada. They're not a special muscle. Some people just don't grow them very well, and at that point you kind of need to throw the kitchen sink at them.
Yeah. I think with calves, my calves are quite good, but again, it's some people, the people who tend to have really good calves, they're like, I don't train calves, so it is quite a genetic...
Yeah. Mitchell's got ridiculous calves. Yeah. Look at Mitch's calves. Yeah. Wow. Damn, son.
He don't even
lift.
Yeah. Just a camera gear. But so my answer was similar. It was looking at, and again she was touching base on that. It's like it's not a special muscle. The only thing I said was looking at, obviously the calf muscles. People know, but obviously the gastrocnemius more so, which crosses 2 joints. So it crosses obviously the knee and the ankle joint. Biarticulate. So the gastrocnemius will work as a synergist or synergist or whatever you want to pronounce it. I'm from South East London.
South-East London.
I'll call it whatever I want to call it. And basically, when your foot's in a dorsiflex position, so your toes are up, hence my socks. You like them? Good choice for this episode. So when your
like motion tracking.
So when your foot's in a dorsiflex position, so think of like a seated leg curl. When you do knee flexion, so reducing the angle of the joint. Yeah, I used to teach. You know what I mean? I know the anatomy. I still got it. It will assist with flexion of the knee. So with the soleus muscle, it's a uni-articulate muscle, uniaxial, whatever you want to call it. So it only crosses one joint, the ankle. So my answer would be, again, when she says about high reps, low reps, predominantly the soleus muscle is more slow twitch. So think about things where you're walking, unless you're walking with
your legs completely straight.
Yeah, or with like knee flexion. But again, when you're walking, you probably tend to use more of your soleus muscle, which is more slow twitch. So for you to target those ones, again, it's looking at different exercise selection, passive insufficient and stuff like that. With the soleus would be like a seated calf raise. So I tend to do more of a higher repetition on that, or program a high repetition just to take into account that it's probably more slow twitch. Again, when you're thinking of the muscle as well, it's getting used on a daily basis unless you're walking on your hands, which you don't see too many people walking around the street on their hands. So it's already a muscle which has probably had a lot of volume in a really low threshold, like you ain't gonna call like walking like resistance training.
No.
Even though it is
unless you are really fat.
Yeah, or really overweight, or really hench. Don't just have to be fat, Lawrence.
Fat shaming.
Poliquin pal person.
Oh no.
So yeah, my response was taking into account like seated calf raises, donkey calf raises when you're like bent over and your back up. To again, it's looking at just putting different exercise selections, putting your muscles in different angles, providing and again just another thing was how can I get more volume in? Can I do it at the end of any sessions? Remember, with lifting there are no rules. So if you, like when people say, oh, you can't squat and deadlift in the same session because you're going to break your back, like never think black and white. It could be that, right, this person really wants to work on the calves, they need to get more volume, and rather than just smashing them once a week and then not being able to walk for the rest of the week, look at, okay, if they're only doing it twice a week, let's include it maybe 3 times and then 4 times, and then gradually, like any other muscle which you want to develop, gradually put in more volume over time will have an impact on that. But again, like anything, you've got to look at genetic potential. It just might just be their origins and insertions for their calf muscles are not that great. It's like some people have abs when they're really lean. Other people don't have great ab definition. Again, if you've got no calves, one, go back and get better parents, and then you might be one of those gifted people who never have to do a calf raise in their life but have really great calves. So again, you're just going to have to tell that to your client and say, we can always improve on it, but you're never going to have calves like that person over there, because again, like, I'm never going to be the size of my buddy Flex Lewis. Do you know what I mean?
There is one rule in lifting. Don't curl in the squat rack.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You never curl in the squat rack.
Or calf raise.
Or yeah, basically you squat in the squat rack. One little addition to that, in the context of being a PT in the gym, which I know Petya is, in terms of your kind of use of time, things like prowler pushing, things like explosive movements. So if you can teach your clients how to do the Olympic lifts that require triple extension, so extension at the knee, ankle, and the hip, that's going to get that more kind of explosive nature, the heavier weights, the more tension through the plantar flexion.
Yeah.
So that might help. Again, prowlers are great for conditioning, great for making your clients collapse in a puddle of sweat, to be honest. But again, you're sprinting, pushing a really heavy load. So again, it's going to be
just varying the stimulus.
Yeah. So
as in speed of contraction, load on, like the load that muscle's undergoing, the repetitions and stuff like that.
Plus, that stuff is way more fun.
Yeah,
than
and
being
it's
sat
testing
doing
it out as well, because Lawrence might get really good calves if he just does 6 reps. I might get really good calves if I have to do 20 plus reps. Trying a different range of repetition ranges, whether you want to, as you said, like DUP it, or whether you want to go, right, we're going to do focus on this mesocycle, more of a high repetition range, and see how they grow, and do measurements like that. But again, if you're covering the whole end of spectrum in terms of repetition ranges, different exercise varieties, and you're increasing volume over time, whether you add it onto the end of the sessions, even stuff like if you're doing an upper body session, you ain't got a lot of time, you could do calf raises in between, like a superset. It's not going to fatigue your bench press or your rows or anything like that. So look at how you can maybe incorporate it into sessions and be a bit clever with your programming.
Every day.
Right, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed that.
Good.
If you haven't subscribed on iTunes, make sure you subscribe, and also subscribe on YouTube as well. YouTube, we love you. Subscribe.